Another edition of the Let's Go Ricky Roll podcast. I'm Beto Duran alongside Ricky Romero. Before we bring in Ricky, let's just say that I went to Canada for the first time. I had a great time. No, I've been to Canada, but I went to Toronto. And everybody in Toronto, thank you so much. You people are amazing. You Canadians are awesome. You Toronto natives are wonderful. Everybody treated me great. I was there for maybe 48 hours. And if you listen to the podcast, you've heard Ricky and Thole tell me how much I got to go. All the guests that we've had on have told me I got to go. I finally went. I met the man they call Stocky. I don't even know his real name, but he watches the podcast. And great dude. I felt like VIP. I felt like I was Jose Bautista. I felt like I was Joe Carter walking around in that area, and they treated me great. And I was there working a fight for United Boxing Promotions. I stayed in Brampton, about 20 minutes south is what they told me. And at the CAA Center, CENTRE, the Centre, I kept calling it. They told me, no, you're not French. I had a great time. Toronto is awesome in the summer. It's fantastic. It's beautiful. The Jays weren't in town. That's the only thing I missed about it, but it was awesome. And before I bring in Ricky, I did what you're supposed to do. I went to Tim Hortons, got myself some coffee, and I had to bring back the mug, Rick. I had to bring back the mug. Right? I am officially Canadian, man.
Hey, congratulations, man. You went to Tim Hortons. It looks like you definitely lived it up. But did you get a Timbit?
A what?
A Timbit? You see, dude?
You didn't tell me about this. What's a Timbit?
I didn't tell you. Don't see the donuts that they have there? They're like little
Oh
mini
yeah,
donuts.
yeah. Oh, I got that. Oh, I got that all. You know me. I got the sweet
Yeah.
tooth. I got me
Yeah.
the cream filled because they said that's what they're supposed to get, and then the little like donut holes or whatever they are. Oh,
That's Timbits.
that's
Timbits.
there. Crushed them. Absolutely crushed them. I took them back
Yeah.
to the hotel for the staff. I never got to the staff. I crushed them. So that night when I worked, I usually on a day of a fight, I try not to eat. That way I could fit into my shirt. That way I don't have three chins. Oh no, that day, Rick, I crushed those Timbits. The tie was a little snug. I'll just say it, a little snug there. But I love your city. Stocky took me around and talked to people. I met a couple of people that you know, and they're like, "Oh, Beto, we know you. We know you're friends with Ricky. It's great. When's he coming back?" I'm like, Ricky will be there in July. It's a great, cool, fun, diverse city, and I can see why. If you're an athlete and you're rolling in that city, if you're winning, oh my goodness, I can only imagine the level of excitement they have for you when you're on fire there, man.
Yeah, man. No, it's definitely a very loving city, a very caring city. Um, and they do love their sports. They love their Leafs, obviously, but the Blue Jays obviously are on a hot roll right now. They came here to Anaheim and destroyed the Angels for 4 games, so that's good. So I'm sure the buzz is back in the city. But yeah, I mean, I've told you all about it, and now the next thing I guess is experiencing a Blue Jay game, and
Yeah,
hopefully, you just told me that there's a possibility you might head back up there, and if
yeah.
they're in the middle of a pennant race, dude, I'm telling you that place is gonna be rocking and rolling, and um, yeah, I actually head up there next week. So I'm gonna head up there to do some stuff with the Jays, or not with the Jays, but just head up there and do some stuff. Um, and yeah, I'm looking forward to being up there for a week. No family, so that's gonna be a little bit different. And then I come back home and then head up there for the month of July. So it should be fun.
Yeah, it's a one of my partners said a boot, and I'm like, whoa, like that threw me off a little bit because I've heard your wife use a Canadian accent every now and then, a couple of words, but hearing it over and over, I was like, this is cool, man. This was cool. Just a fun city. It was great. Watching sports at the hotel. I never realized there were so many hockey channels because everything was being analyzed. I saw the Battle of Alberta come out, and people were telling me about this under 12 hockey tournament that's going to be going on at the arena where we had the fights. And they know all about it. And 5,000 people come and watch 10-year-old Pee Wee kids play hockey. It was great. Love it. I love it. I love everything about it, man. It was cool. And then I
Yeah,
saw
no, they definitely dissect their hockey a little bit more than any other sport out there, and it's like it's what like like we talk about football and baseball. We went golfing a couple weeks ago with one of your friends, and he talked to us about college football and stuff like that. Well, it's like that for hockey out there, and that's what you see out there. They play all these tournaments, these young kids, and they get a good crowd, and yeah, and then the next big thing comes out of there, like Connor McDavid did, and yeah, man. I mean, they love their hockey, and they're very passionate about it, and it's actually fun to see. That's how I kind of got into hockey when I started playing for the Toronto Blue Jays, and you see it on TV all the time, and then these guys are huge Blue Jay fans that play in the
Yeah,
NHL and then in the minor leagues, and then they come out to games. You meet them, and you become friends with them, and to this day, I'm still pretty close with some of them.
yeah. It's just it was cool. I know I'm raving about it. I was only there 48 hours. I didn't even get to see anything. I drove by the stadium, but I didn't go it. So it was cool. It was cool. Great time. People were just super nice, man. Just super nice about
Hey,
everything.
but you know, it's funny how like you put that picture of that beer, and then I retweeted it, and then like how people like have like arguments about that shitty beer. Try this one, and no, that one's shitty beer. Like, dude, that's Canadian people are passionate about their beer too. So
Yeah,
whatever they say, you got to try. You just got to try it and
I
suck it
did.
up.
So I was at the weigh-ins. I took the red eye. I landed in the morning, took a quick nap, and I went to the weigh-ins, started doing some work, and we're there at a restaurant, and they tell me, "Hey, you want a drink?" I'm like, I'll take some water." And then the promoter was like, "Get this guy a beer." I'm like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "You want Stella, Corona?" I'm like, "I'm in Toronto. I'm in Canada. Give me a Molson's." Right? I didn't because that's the only thing I know. And I said Molson, and I sent the picture. I tweeted it out. As I'm drinking the Molson, the reason I really got it is because I saw the mug. It said Molson's. I'm
Yeah.
like, me, I need a picture. A guy a couple seats down was like, "Oh, you got that beer," and I'm like, "Damn, all right, like, okay, no, it's a beer, whatever." I thought, and I posted it. You tweeted it. It's supposed to be Labatt's. Then people arguing back and forth on the thread about Labatt's and
Yeah.
Molson's. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But I did have I have
No,
Labatt's too, but I like Molson's.
yeah, no, they're passionate about their beer, and like I said, you just go with what they recommend, man.
Yeah.
Keep your mouth quiet because those Canadians will punch you in the face.
Dude,
Nah, I'm just
uh,
kidding.
all I know, no, they are because I went to Petty Cash, a local establishment there in Toronto. Awesome place, awesome vibe, and Petty Cash took care of me. Had some beers, we're having a good time. And I'm just looking around, like I can see because it's the weather was like about 75 and perfect. And as your boy Stocky said, "Hey, you're getting pent up and you're cooped up all winter long. You just want to come out here and you just want to have a good time." And that's what it was, man. Everybody
Yeah,
having a good time. So that was
I'm
cool,
glad. I'm
Toronto. Thank
glad.
you so much, man. Stocky's
And
the
shout
best.
out
That's
to
all I
Petty
got.
Cash. Shout out to Petty Cash for taking care of the homie right here.
Okay, you told me about Petty Cash, and it's cool. It's like a bar, a sports bar, kind of, and back and
Yeah.
forth. It's just an environment because we went to different spots. Petty Cash, you know me, Rick. That's my style. I walked in there. I'm like, this is home right here. This is like people just having some beers, having a good time. Nobody on edge, and it just have the DJs were good. The bartenders at Petty Cash were great. It's just, I mean, like, there's a line outside. I forget the guy who's at the front door. Stocky's like, "Oh, this is Ricky's buddy. You're friends with Ricky? You're friends with me. Cool. All right, great. Nice to meet you." Big monster guy who's like 6'5", 6'6". I'm like, all right. Then I meet Dino, who works at the grounds crew for the Blue Jays, who's just walking by, and he's like, okay. I think it's Dino or Dean, one of those. I'm sorry, Dean. I mean, him. First thing, you're Ricky's buddy. You're my buddy. I see you on the podcast. Okay, like just like that. And it's like everybody's coming and grabbing me, like, "Oh, you know Ricky's." Like, it's great, man. You guys did. You've laid the foundation for me. I got to go back. I got to go back. I really
Yeah,
do.
you do, man. No, yeah, it's a great city. It's cool. I can't wait to be up there next weekend or next week, actually, next Tuesday. And yeah, it's always a good time. I always look forward to getting up there and spending time in the city. And where we live, where our house is at nowadays, it's in Port Credit, Mississauga, kind of by where you were at.
Yeah,
So we don't really get down to the city that much. It's like one of those things where the city is there, it's cool, but the only time you ever see me in the city is if I'm down for a Blue Jay game or grabbing a quick bite or something like that. But we usually stay in our own little bubble out in Port Credit. But yeah, whenever I get down there to the city, Cara and I are always like, "Man, I love this place," and she
yeah,
always just laughs. She's like, "Yeah, I do too." Like it's just always feels good. There's something about it, right? You walk
mm-hmm.
out and you're like, this it feels good. It just feels good to be here.
Yeah, there's certain. Yeah, I've traveled a lot for boxing. We've gone to some crazy cities, some cool cities, and there's very few times where I come back and I'm like, I could see myself living here, right? Only in the summer too. I'm not even gonna pretend like I'm gonna do the winter, but I can see myself like there's an energy, there's a good vibe. Like Miami, cool to visit. No way I would ever want to live there. New York, cool to visit. Don't want to live there. Boston, maybe, but Toronto, I'm like, yeah, Toronto, Chicago, like, yeah, they got the vibe out of there. I like that, man. And then,
Yeah.
dude. And by the way, you told me Vlad is a big deal. No, Vlad shirts everywhere. The airport, at the fights, the little kids wearing it, and it's the little kids wearing Vlad shirts. Like that guy can be a huge star up there. I know you've told me about this and you about it, but man, it's like in L.A. You know, when the kids are wearing their Kershaw jersey or they're wearing whatever new guy is. Vlad can be.
And
like
this,
that.
but this is the thing though, Beto. You see it in Toronto, and then you see it in Ottawa, and then you see it in Calgary, and then you see it in Edmonton, and then you see it in Saskatchewan, and you see it all the way out here in the west in Vancouver. Yeah, man. I mean, that's you don't understand what it means to put on a Blue Jay uniform till you actually play for them and you realize the impact that it has across the country.
Wow.
That's really what it is. It hit me because after I retired, I started doing some camps for the Blue Jays all across Canada and stuff like that. And I sat back one time and I just like was people watching at the airport. I think we were in like Calgary, I think. And I was just like people watching, and I'm like, there's another Blue Jay shirt, there's another Blue Jay hat, there's another Blue Jay shirt, there's another hat. And I'm like, wow, like the impact that this organization has across the whole country is second to none, man. It's just nothing beats it. Kershaw is big. Yeah, in all of baseball, he's going to be a future Hall of Famer, but you see Clayton Kershaw t-shirts in Southern California. You're not going to see them in Northern California. You're not going to see them in Arizona. You might see one or two, but Toronto Blue Jay shirts, they're all across Canada, and that's what makes it special playing for them.
Yeah, it was cool to see. You know, in L.A., where I live, born and raised, same with you, you'll see Dodger hats everywhere. Right?
Yeah.
But you'll see Yankee hats, you'll see Cub hats, you'll see everybody else hat. Toronto, Rick, I only saw Blue Jays hats. I didn't really see others.
It's rare. It's rare that you see other teams' hats, and if you do, it's because maybe it's just one of the few. But yeah, man, people are passionate about Toronto Blue Jay baseball being the only team in Canada. Obviously, if you go to different cities and you're looking at hockey stuff, obviously each one has their own alliance. That's different, right?
Yeah.
But the Toronto Blue Jays are the only team that represents the country of Canada, and that's why I say it again. It's special when you play for them.
Now I get it. Having seen it, it just whoa, it hits you like, okay, this is it right now. And then also I was catching up on my Canadian football preseason preview. I got them all up to date on the Rough Riders and my Calgary Stampede because we kind of know the quarterback Jake Meyer from the Calgary Stampede, so we know that stuff going on. And so I got my fix. I got my junior hockey updates. I got my Canadian football preseason preview, and then I got the people just ripping everything about the Rangers broadcast. It was just I got my fix there in Toronto. It was a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. I was only there 48 hours, but can't wait to go back. All right, so let's keep moving with the podcast as we move forward. And let me get once again my Tim Hortons. You know, good coffee, dude. That coffee, bro. And don't get mad at me because I had coffee. Okay, take you guys behind the scenes. I'm gonna out myself here. Went to dinner with our good friend Stocky at this fantastic Colombian restaurant in Toronto, and it's 9 o'clock ish. I'm tired because I took the red eye, and I knew this heavy meal, so I ordered an espresso because it's a Colombian espresso, not like I'm at Starbucks, Rick. And that Colombian espresso is some of the best I've ever had, man. Because I even asked the waiter, like, "Is the espresso any good?" He's like, "It's in Colombia." I'm like, okay, bro. Like, hey, relax. He came at me, took that shot. That's how I was able to go and enjoy petty cash. So don't get mad at me.
Oh, man. I'll keep it to myself. Ordering coffee before dinner. Yeah.
An espresso. It woke me up.
I'll keep that conversation between Stocky and I.
I needed it. I needed the espresso, man. The espresso. And then if you ever go to, what's it called? Borrow?
Borrow, yeah.
Go to bar,
One of my
order
favorite
the big
places.
steak. Wow. Wow.
Amazing, huh?
Yeah. If I
That
didn't have
that
the
little
espresso, I would have fell
that
asleep.
little chimichurri sauce that they give you on the side is amazing, dude.
Ooh.
Everything about that place since it opened and I went there for the first time, I'm like, man, even Cara, who's vegan, but they make this rice confit that's
Mm.
vegan, and she absolutely loves it. Loves it. So yeah, I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg too, Beto. I mean, there's so many other places. I'm sure you noticed that whole area right there on
Yeah.
King Street, how packed it is. People just walking, eating, patios, drinking, enjoying, having a good time. That's Toronto for you there in the summers.
Yeah, man. It was really, really, really cool uh, for me to be there and experience and check things out. All right, let's move on to some baseball stuff here. Rick, you saw the Blue Jays and Angels last week, and I was keeping tab of it with watching it in Toronto and also a group chat. Were you on the field doing TV? What were you doing?
No, I wasn't doing TV. I actually showed up late for BP because obviously LA traffic on a Friday
Oh,
holiday weekend stunk. And so we get there and they still let us on the field. Some of the Blue Jay staff actually kept us on the field because they wanted to kick us out, but they said no. He's fine here. And yeah, man, I actually the Toronto Blue Jays media or social media guy, he actually told me to make a little video
oh, that's what I
and
saw.
wished
Okay.
that's what it was. Yeah. So I did that, but yeah, it was a good time. Took Sebastian, my oldest, my pops to the game, and a couple friends, and we went out there and enjoyed the game on Otani Wan Kenobi bobblehead day. So I don't know if many of you guys know, but Sebastian, my oldest, loves Star Wars. Although he's kind of been off of it lately, but I think it's because they watch each movie about 20 million times. But he was excited to get that little bobblehead. He asked me a million times why Otani has a lightsaber and not a bat. And I was like, dude, because it was Star Wars night. Yeah, but why, Daddy? Why doesn't he have a bat? He needs a bat to hit. And I was like, oh my God, dude. But yeah, it was he actually lasted 7 innings, Beto. So that was a plus. We stayed till about the seventh inning and then we caught the rest of it on the radio. But yeah, it was a good time. It's always a good time when I get to see the players is different because I don't know many of them anymore. There's a lot of young guys, but when I see the staff and guys that I was close with while I played there, and you get to just have a little chit chat with them, it's always fun.
Did you see Vladdy?
No, I got
Okay.
there late. I got there like I said, I got there after BP had
Okay.
ended. So yeah.
There you go. So, all right, you know how much we love Otani. What's it like watching him in person? I've yet to see him in person this year, man.
He had the day off, dude.
Come on.
He had the day off. Yeah, he had the day off on Friday, which is weird because I feel like bobblehead day, you'd want to be playing, right? But I think it's
Eh.
because he had pitched the night before,
Oh,
maybe. So yeah, I mean he didn't play, so yeah. But I mean, it's still cool watching Mike Trout, right? I
yo,
mean, like that to me is just as good. And you know what, man? I'll be honest with you. It's a little disappointing when you watch TV and you see that stadium not even half full, and
man.
you have two of the best players in Major League Baseball, and they don't get the support that I feel like they should. And it's not like the Angels are bad this year either.
Oh,
They're pretty good. And then when you mix in a Vladdy in there, and you got the top three, and you mix in a Bo Bichette, another young
yeah.
star, and it's like, wait, they had to give away a bobblehead for this place to sell out. Come on. And yeah, that's a little disappointing. But
Yeah.
I've always said that Angel fans are a little bit different.
Yeah, it's different, and it's they're happy with their 25,000 down there in Anaheim, and they're happy with heck, there was a story in the LA Times about how Anaheim's a great place to go watch a game because there's no traffic, you don't have to worry about anybody. You get in, get out. There's plenty of room by your seats. You can have a row to yourself. I'm like, this isn't a good thing. Like you want to have
No.
it sold out, but it's disappointing for there. All right, well, you didn't see Otani, but we got to go make a trip, man. I got to see that guy in person this year. I haven't seen him at all.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Couple things locally. Let me take care of some housekeeping here. Rick, I ran into a guy named Pedro from Boyle Heights who went to Roosevelt High School, the same high school you went to. He's a big fan of the podcast. I ran into him a couple weeks ago, and I think I saw him at Dodger Stadium, and I even wrote his name down, Pedro Boyle Heights, Roosevelt alum, big fan of the podcast. And I haven't given him a shout out the last couple weeks, but I want to make sure you take care of him. And the reason we're talking about Boyle Heights is because locally, some of the baseball teams there were up for some big things. And where Ricky went to high school, Roosevelt, they played in the semifinals of the Open Division here in Southern California. They lost to the eventual champion in Chatsworth, but shout out to the Roosevelt High School team for getting to the semifinals. They were 1 inning away from playing at Dodger Stadium. And then a division below that, Division One, Garfield High, where we do a lot of work with our Ricky Romero Baseball Foundation camp. They are the Division One champions. So here in Southern California, you have the Open Division 1, 2, and 3. It's based on different stuff. But they're Garfield High head coach Ruben and his staff. Congratulations to the Bulldogs, Division One champions, and they win it at Dodger Stadium. They beat Narbonne on Saturday.
That's
They
dope.
now advanced to play in the state playoffs, the state regionals, this afternoon, and they're going to play at East LA College. I'm actually doing the broadcast of that later on this afternoon. So it's really cool to see these kids, and we're going to bring it back to this because you've heard us talk about the Ricky Romero camp that we do at East LA College in Thanksgiving, and to see kids, Rick, that we had in our camp, as we said, they started off the year learning from big leaguers, and then they're playing in a big league stadium. That's awesome, man. I know it means a lot.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, it definitely means a lot. And for Garfield to go out and did what they did, amazing work. And even Roosevelt High, they had a great year. And the damn Valley, man, we could never beat them. It always seems like we struggle against them. I mean, that's who ended my senior year too, and we were the number 2 seed. This is back when you remember, Beto, right? When they used to
Yep.
seed all the schools
Yep.
all in just one division.
The best of the
And I
best.
remember, yeah, we were number 2 seed against like the number 15 seed, and I think Cleveland High School beat us to eliminate us. But, anyways, yeah, it's cool to see Garfield High School do it at Dodger Stadium, like you mentioned. Some of those kids were part of that camp that we had back in November at East LA College, and to see the growth, man. And Ruben Torres obviously has been a huge help to us, the head coach there, and for them to be able to go out there and do what they did and continue this little train ride into the state finals. Now they can make something happen there too. You just never know in this game. And like I said, it's cool that they're keeping the wheels rolling on this season, and good luck to them tonight. And I hope they continue to move forward. For me, it always makes me happy. People always ask me like, "Oh, what are you, a Bulldog or a Rough Rider?" And I always just say, you know what? I'm from East LA. I represent both schools, and it makes me happy to see both schools succeeding, because if both schools are succeeding, then they're doing something right, and
Yeah.
kids are doing the things that they got to do to go out there and win, and the preparation that goes into that. So I don't really have what ties to one more than the other. I love both schools, and I've done events with both schools. I've gone to the alumni game with Roosevelt High School, and people always ask me like, "Oh, why didn't you go to the Garfield one?" Well, they don't have one, But if they did, I'd be more than glad to join them and be a part of it. Anything for me, and this, Beto. Anything that we can help the community
Yeah.
and inspire the kids more than anything. That's what I'm worried about. I don't care about this whole rivalry that goes on, and it's cool when it comes to football, but um, I know our friend Razo over there is a diehard big bad bulldog. But um, but yeah, no, it's fun. It's cool, man. And to watch a celebration, I watched the video of them winning at Dodger Stadium, the
Yeah.
last out, and just the excitement of that. You look at your surroundings, and this is no knock on any kid, but not this might be the only time they ever get to play at a big league stadium like
Yeah.
that. And maybe there's one or two that go past into college and maybe make that dream a reality. But um, the reality of it is that some of these kids, I hope, enjoyed the crap out of this and,
Oh
and
yeah.
enjoyed everything about it, because it's still one thing I wish I would have done as a high schooler. Um, it's end my season at Dodger Stadium a winner, lifting up a trophy, and it never happened for me. But yeah, man, it's pretty awesome to see them
Yeah, and
continue to go
Ricky,
out there and succeed.
you guys know Ricky's one of the most humble guys. And I'll say it for him. He's the only professional baseball player to come out of those high schools out of East LA. So it's awesome for him. And he won't say it, but I'll say it for him. But this is the picture I wanted to show right here. These two kids right here. This is the semifinal game. Anthony Cardenas, complete game, 2 hits, no runs, 5 Ks. Jose Rosas knocked in all 3 runs. They won 3-0 to go to the championship game. And those kids were at our camp in November. And Cardenas is a kid who is big, no college offers or anything like that. But I remember watching him. I actually interviewed him for CBS 2, and he was a kid who was doing work with Jesse Chavez, who had just come off of the World Series. So, like, those little things, that's part of the reason. If you guys want, make sure you follow the Ricky Romero Foundation. That's the Instagram page for the foundation and the camp. And we have big plans for what we want to do in East LA and for the community, and just to give the kids an opportunity for that. So congratulations to them. And also congratulations to Legacy High School. They won the Division III championship. Head coach Tony Cortez and his kids won. They won that championship, and I got to find that picture of them because they have a couple of the kids that are going to be on that team. They're going to be going to play at a school in Buffalo near where Thole lives. So it was cool to see them get it. So also Legacy,
And congrats to them. Yeah, congrats to Legacy. They've also been
they've gone to
a
our camp.
huge they've gone to our camp. They've been a huge asset to our camp. They've sent their kids, and the cool thing, again, it's the engaging part that we get out of these kids, right? We do this whole process, the application process, and we try and bring kids that want to be there, that want to learn. And I feel like the 2 years that we've had it, we haven't missed with kids, honestly.
Right.
And I feel like they're more appreciative. And for me, what gets me more is the thank yous and the thank you for putting this at the end of the camp, because I do it from the bottom of my heart. I just, we don't look for any
And it's a free
type of
camp.
money.
It's a
Yeah,
free
we don't
camp.
look for any type of money. We don't look for any type of like recognition. It's just, hey, we just want to do this because we want to inspire the kids. And when you're seeing stuff like this, schools go out there, win championships, and the first thing they do is like, hey, can we get a shout out from Ricky? And it's like, whoa, like, this is what you go celebrate, man. But no, it's cool. It's cool because it shows me that we're doing the right thing. We're inspiring kids, and for seniors, shoot, man, to end your career like that, what a way to go out.
Yeah, champion and Legacy will be playing in the state regional game today. They actually go up to Delano up there by McFarland and everything else. But head coach Tony Cortez made sure to let us know. Look what he found. This Ricky Romero baseball card. He's like, I got to get this signed, autograph time. Where is that baseball card from, Rick?
Shoot, it looks like it's in spring training because we're wearing our spring training uniforms. Those hats are awful. Yeah, I think this might be 2000 and this might be rookie year. This might be my first or second year, something like that. I don't know.
Do you have that card?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. There's so many, dude. There's just so many that I don't even know. Sometimes when people ask me to sign cards when I go back to Toronto, I'm like, whoa, I've never seen this one. So yeah. So there's a lot of cards out there.
That's pretty cool. So congratulations to these high school kids that made where they're going, and we good luck to them. And like watching that Garfield game, I was actually watching it online in Toronto, and I'm like, damn, these kids get to go to Dodger Stadium and like step on the ground like that. That alone is just to be like, dude, they went to first base where our good friend Chaton, takes care of the dirt there. They messed it up for him, but. There was 4,000 people at Dodger Stadium watching that game. So all East
Yeah,
LA
I wish I could have gone, man. And actually, one of the kids that attended the camp, because they played Narbonne High School, Beto, and one of the kids from there actually attended our camp too.
Yeah.
His Mikey is his name, and yeah, I actually wished him good luck the night before. So yeah, I mean, I feel like there was a lot of familiar faces all over this little tournament, championship, and just everything. I just feel like there was a lot of familiar faces, so that was good to see. Again, even if your team didn't win, it's you're still a winner. And as much as it sucks for seniors to go out on an L, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't there's a lot of brighter things ahead for all those kids. That's
Yeah,
for
man,
sure.
it's pretty cool to see that. I was asking you this, Rick, since I just came back from Toronto, because I am Canadian now, Tim Hortons. Um, did you, when you guys were out there?
Maybe one day you'll
Whoa,
you'll
what we
meet
got?
people to where they hook you up with something like this.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you got your own. Okay. Well,
Shout out to my guy Mike out there in Toronto.
yeah. I got my own tumbler too. It's a sticker, but it's but this is what I was gonna ask you, Rick, like because it got me thinking on the flight how you help these kids and the impact of the high school and everything else, and totally does it in his hometown and everything else, like that. Like, have you ever done anything like this in Toronto?
I haven't. No, I haven't. I
Okay.
really haven't, and it's never really crossed my mind because it takes a whole
Oh yeah.
team to be able to put an event like this together. And the last thing I want is anything to churn about money and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I've never really kind of
Okay.
touched those or tested those waters out there. People have asked me to come and host a camp and stuff like that, but I don't know, man.
You want to do it right.
Maybe in the future. Yeah.
I'm
Again,
just trying
it's
to get myself a trip to Toronto. That's all I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm
yeah.
trying to do right
And
now.
you know what? And honestly, I feel like the Toronto Blue Jays cover all the bases in that sense.
Oh,
They
they
do a
do it.
good job of, yeah, they do
Okay.
different camps across, those areas and stuff like that. They do a pretty good job of keeping the community involved.
Well, okay, that's interesting to see. So I got to find a different way to get to Toronto. Okay, cool. Well, but as I wanted to move on, and Tole's not joining us today because he's actually celebrating the 10th anniversary of Johan Santana throwing his no hitter. So he's on his way to New York right now. So he might join us, he might not. So this is gonna be a shorter podcast. But Rick, yesterday when I came back, I was uh, playing golf in the morning, and then I did a little bit of work, and I was talking to some friends who. One of them being our friend Dr. Howdigwe, who helps us out with the camp, who helps college players learn about like their eligibility, the NIL, all that other stuff. And I had an interesting conversation because he works a lot with the football guys about how he used to be at USC, but he's no longer there, and he's at a different school. But that kids are so caught up in it has to be D1, D1, D1 that they don't realize that it can just go to college and do something. So I want to get your perspective on this a little bit, Rick, and just pick your brain because I know there's a lot of high school parents that listen to the podcast or younger parents that listen to the podcast that they're so caught up on what they want to do at winning rings at 10 years old. Take me back to 18-year-old Ricky Romero graduating Roosevelt High School. Did you know anything about D1? Did it have to be like what was it the process for you? And if you were 18 right now, what would you tell yourself about going to college?
I say, and this is over the stuff that I've learned the past few years. I said, where do I fit in? Where do I fit in? Where am I going to go get better? Where am I going to get an opportunity to get better? Not, oh, I need to go Division 1 because that's what's gonna get me more friends, or I'm gonna look cool in front of people. My parents are gonna be able to brag about me. Nah, fuck that, man. Go somewhere where you're gonna fit in and where you're gonna be allowed to. They're gonna allow you to develop into the next level if that's what you want to do. But more important, where you're gonna get a good education too. And I feel like obviously we live in a time where it's D1 or nothing, and D1, D1, D1. If you don't make it D1, you're a failure. That's just a stupid mentality, in my
Hmm.
opinion. Um, there's nothing wrong with junior college. There's nothing wrong with Division 2 schools. There's nothing wrong with NAIA schools. You know why, Beto? Because you look go. I say this to everyone. Go look at a big league roster and you tell me how many guys you see. Yeah, you're going to see Division 1 guys, but how many one high school kids you see, colleges that you've never even heard of, you'll see in big league rosters. Shoot, our great friend Kevin Pillar, man. I mean, shout out to him. He's living his childhood dream playing for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And where did he go, Beto? Where did he go? Tell me.
Dominguez Hills, Division 2.
Exact Division 2, exactly. And people get so caught up in this whole world of I want the top 100, I want to be this, I want to be that, and then when stuff doesn't work out, they don't know where to look. So I know when I was 18, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about Division 1. My goal after high school was I'm going to go to a junior college, play baseball, and then see where it takes me. That was all I had in mind. And once I started learning about the Division 1 level and stuff like that, and that I had the opportunity to go develop somewhere, then that's when I started paying more attention. And obviously the USCs, the LMUs, the Long Beach, the Fullertons
Mm.
of the world, the University of Arizona's of the world started calling me and stuff like that. Now, when you have that kind of opportunity, obviously recruiting is a lot different now. They recruit like 2-3 years in advance, or yeah, they're looking ahead to the future. When I didn't sign my letter of intent till after I graduated high school, so go figure that out, you
Mm.
know. um so that was a little bit different as it is nowadays. But yeah, man, go somewhere where you're going to fit in, where you're going to be happy, not where your parents are going to be happy that you're there. Go somewhere where you're going to develop and you have a chance to develop. When you go to a 4-year school, you're not going to be a big leaguer your first year, your second year, and hopefully by your third year, you've developed enough that you've put yourself in a good position to be drafted. But other than that, I mean, yeah, development is very, very important, and somewhere where you feel comfortable and you're going to get better every day, and they have a good program for you, all that good stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, Division 1 level is awesome, but just make sure that you're making the right decision when you're going there, and that it makes you happy more than anything.
That's something because it's more. I don't understand the athlete's mentality because you guys are just so great at what you do. You're the 1% of it to get to where you're at. Just to even play in college, whatever division it is, it's hard. Um, but hearing, my son's in the basketball world, so hearing some of these parents talk about where their kids should be going is like, whoa, do you not see this? We recently played golf with a couple people that know the recruiting world in different sports, and they were just telling us about how it is now and how the game has changed and how the social media aspect and how if they don't know you in eighth grade, it's not that you're not good. It's just you're above expectations. At the same time,
Yeah,
if they offer you a scholarship in ninth grade, it doesn't mean they have to fulfill that scholarship too. That
exactly.
threw me off. I didn't know that part. Like, whoa,
That's where I feel like kids get complacent. I mean, and rightfully so. They don't know any better. They you say, hey, here's a Division 1 scholarship to go play baseball at UCLA as a ninth grader. You feel like you can kind of Cadillac it a little bit and kind of sit back and just go do your thing. Nah, man, like as you mentioned, Beto, this type of stuff can get taken away from you in a heartbeat. And next thing you know, you're left there looking both ways, wondering who's gonna take you. And that's when
yeah,
you start looking and saying, shoot, I'll go to junior college at this point. But it's like, you know, if you knew you were like you say it all the time, if you know you're a junior college player, just go to junior college.
yeah,
Don't try and push the envelope, because it's the game of baseball or any sport, especially in college, it's very cutthroat.
yeah.
Um, uh,
Oof.
unless you really, really, really think you can beat out Mr. 2-year starter that's going to projected to be a top 30 pick or something, then yeah, maybe the best thing is that you don't go there.
Yeah, and it's I would say this because I was at a function a couple weeks ago where I heard parents talking. And I heard, and mind you, I don't know these people. I was just in the room and I heard parents talking, and it was, well, why would they go there when they should have gone somewhere bigger? Um, let's just say,
And
why
it's
would they go to UC
and
Riverside when they should have gone to LSU? And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, because LSU didn't want them, like
yeah,
like the parents' ego, Rick, of this, and I know we're sounding like we're preaching and like get off my lawn kind of guy, but it's not. It's don't let your ego get in the way of what your kid wants to do because how many times have we ever asked a kid actually what do you want to do? Like where do you want to live? Like do you even like that school? Don't let it be because this day and age of social media of like, oh, my son has 8 offers. Like we see this all the time with football guys. Blessed to receive my 18th offer from this school. It's like, dude, just sign somewhere. Just do something. Go where you want to be. Like the the parents' pressure that they're putting on to show they keep up with the Joneses of that's another impact that I never thought about until recently, man.
yeah, yeah. I mean, again, we live in a different time,
Yeah,
as far as expectations and where you gotta go and what you gotta have by your freshman year, because if you don't, then you're not good enough. But then I look back at it, and it's not the parents' fault or anything like that. Like, whose fault is it at all this? Like, I mean, the colleges obviously are recruiting, 3, 4 years ahead, and I always ask this. I always ask college coaches, is I'm like, you offer this kid a scholarship as a freshman. What if in 3 years he's not the same guy you thought he
Mm,
was? What do you do then? So
mm.
I'm sure it's like I've heard of colleges, right now, obviously it's the end of the season, and I've heard of, you know, big time programs saying like, all right, we got to cut 20, 25 guys. And that's just, I've never heard of that. But that's what we live in nowadays. And again, it's a cutthroat business, and it's not something that everyone's cut out to do. You got to be ready to accept failure and have a backup plan if you're that player that's on the bubble. And it's
Wow.
crazy because as a college kid, you're not thinking of that type of stuff, right? You're thinking education. I'm going to go out there, work my ass off, and try to prove everyone wrong and try to prove myself right. And when it doesn't go your way and you're left on the street, you're kind of, again, you're looking at both ways and saying, okay, what next? What's my backup plan? So
Man.
yeah, I mean, it's yeah. Again, we live in different times, and I think if you do have the opportunity to play at a Division 1 level or whatever level you're at, you have to just put in the work, and it all has to come from within you. I mean, nobody's gonna be serving it on a platter for you and saying, "Here you go, here you go, here you go, do this, do that." No, you got to go out there and get it. I mean, that's what I did at Cal State Fullerton, and again, we're talking different times, but at Cal State Fullerton, it was I came in. I wasn't a name, but I made myself a name, and I left there a national championship or a national champion, Team USA representative, and a first rounder, and that's just I give
You
myself
made
credit
yourself that.
because yeah, I give myself credit because
You
yes,
should.
the coaches gave me the opportunity, but the coaches wouldn't have given me the opportunity if they didn't see the hard work that I put in. Period.
We're,
But so when somebody says, oh yeah, like, I'm so thankful that they gave me the opportunity. Well, fuck that. Yeah, they gave me the opportunity because I put myself in that position.
you've talked many times how at Fullerton after your first year, it was really hard.
Yeah.
Actually, after your first semester, it was really hard. How you had to make the adjustments because you're no longer the best one on your team, which you were in high school. To now
No.
you're there and everybody's here. Could you, hypothetically, did you ever think that maybe you should leave?
No. Hell no. My dad wouldn't have let me.
Okay. Did you ever think that you weren't going to get better?
No, I knew I was gonna get better. I
Did
just
you?
needed to. I needed. Oh, go ahead. Go
Oh
ahead.
no, you knew. Okay, but did you think that maybe you weren't cut out for it? Because you've seen some studs around you.
No, I knew I belonged.
Did the coaches think you belonged?
I think they did. They just hadn't. They needed to kind of crack the code of what was it gonna get me
Okay,
to get going.
because that's the
And
thing. That's what's wrong with
that's credit. That's credit to them
okay, because you
because they
had the
cracked that code.
attitude of I'm going to get better, and no matter how hard you work, sometimes you don't. Like the coaches were like, forgive from what you said, we're like, fuck, he's good, but he's not what we expected, right?
Hmm.
You weren't living up to
Yeah.
the expectations. So how do you, as a player, live up to their expectations at the same time, not blame the coaches for not helping you because they got 30 other
Yeah.
pitchers to deal with. They got to win.
Exactly. They got to win, man. And they were coming off one of their worst years ever, my freshman year. And my freshman year, we were absolutely loaded from top to bottom. We should have won a national championship that year, in my opinion. But we got beat in the College World Series. So that kind of, I made the travel roster. The travel squad was a big deal. They take 25 guys, and I was on the travel squad every single time, as a freshman. So I was part of the team. I was just in the bullpen, and I wasn't pitching a lot. But when I got the opportunities to pitch or start, I made the best of them. Made the best of my opportunities. I said, all right, I have to prove that I can pitch. And obviously, coming out of the bullpen was a little bit different, but they gave me a few starts here and there, and that's where I proved myself. But when I think where I knew a little bit that stuff might be changing and I was turning some heads is when we lost in the College World Series that year. And me, Justin Turner, and Danny Dorn were on the top step. and we're just sitting there watching the other team celebrate. I think it was University of Stanford, and our coach, Coach Vanderhook, who you know really well, Beto, he's like, hey, he's like, remember how that shit feels. He's like, we're never gonna feel like that ever again, and that's kind of where I felt like I was like, oh man, like I have a chance to be part of something special here. I really have to go to work, and came in the following year as a sophomore. And this story's been told plenty of
Yeah.
times, but obviously they told me that Coach Dave Serrano, who happy retirement to him, since
Yeah.
I believe this past weekend was his last series coaching as a college coach. He's done. Who had a big influence on me on my pitching career. He looked at me face to face, didn't sugarcoat shit. He just said, "Hey man, we you haven't lived up to what we thought you were gonna be, and for this year at least, you're gonna be heading back to the bullpen." And I was like, "All right, cool." I was pissed off, I was angry, I was all those things, but I told myself, what is it that you need to get better at? Where do I need to be consistent at? And I had some great teammates like I mentioned, Justin Turner and Danny Dorn. I mean, and those guys were like, man, you have all the stuff to be able to compete at this level, but you just got to believe in yourself a little bit more and stuff like that. So I kind of did some self-reflecting as a young college kid, obviously still a bit naive, but I said, all right, I gotta continue to work. This is what I gotta do, and this is the goals that I want to hit. And when one guy went down, that was my opportunity, and I never looked back that year. We won a national championship, and the rest is history. So I put myself on the map by not respectfully not caring what the coach told me and saying, you know what, fuck you, I'm gonna shove it up everyone's face and make sure that I leave my footprint in this program, and I did.
That's awesome to hear. And obviously, that's why you got to where you're at. And this isn't a like, oh, kiss up to Ricky like podcast today. It's just, I think the last couple of weeks, what I've been hearing, especially in high school football, where kids are transferring to their fourth high school, or they're now in college where because of the transfer portal, you can go and you can leave.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of kids, I see this in college basketball, where they're leaving programs where they were like the sixth or seventh man, and then they're going into the transfer portal, and nobody wants them, and they've given up
Mm-hmm.
on that. And it's, well, why did you leave? Oh, well, it was. And I hate sounding like this old man who's in his 40s, but I think social
Well,
media is so adamant about how everybody's blaming everybody else, but nobody ever goes and says, well, maybe I'm the problem. Like, maybe I'm
yeah.
not working as hard.
Well, this is one of the things Coach Horton, I feel like, touched on at our camp. He said something along the lines that, he doesn't really agree with the transfer portal. And I get why it's there,
Mm-hmm.
but also it's an easy escape for kids to be like, oh, I got to compete against who? Okay, nah, I'm leaving. That aspect of it. That's what bothers me about the transfer portal, honestly, where you're not able to go toe to toe with the guy who's your competition and be like, no, I'm going to beat this guy out. It's like, no, I'm going to take the easy way out. They already promised me a starting job over here, and this is where I'm going to go. That's where I'm like, you're losing a little bit of your edge right there, I think.
Yeah, it's fascinating, and I know there's some
It's
parents
a, yeah,
listening who are like, "You guys just don't know. You don't know that world anymore. It's different. Things are different. Things are absolutely different if you're trying to get to the league, but you need adversity." I've told the story many times about me trying to get a TV job. I went 0 for 22 on TV jobs, not because they didn't like me. It's because I sucked. Like my tape was no good. I didn't get hired because I sucked. I didn't play because you sucked. Like you weren't good at things. So it's just, I guess my final thing is just for these parents, like take accountability. You know, like
yeah.
know your role, know where you're at, know where you belong, and just fighting for a spot, battling is good. Running
It
isn't.
is good. It is good, man. It's good for yourself. It's good for whatever life is going to throw at you, because again, not everyone's going to be a big leaguer. Not everyone's going to be an NBA guy. Not everyone's going to make it to the NFL. So what's your backup plan? That's what I have to
Yeah.
ask.
And it goes back when I speak to you guys have heard me talk about how I go to speak at colleges. High school kids, I give their speech about, hey, dream big. Once you get to college, like, nah, man, you're a journalism major. You're trying to take my job. Good fucking luck. You're not going to. Like, go be a teacher. Go sell insurance. Nothing wrong with those jobs. But if you really want to be a journalist, are you really to work Friday nights, all that other stuff? Yeah, that's soapbox. But like, and I always do it. And then at the end of every semester, like, here's my number. Call me. They never do. What do we end up doing? We get an intern named Graham who ditched us. He ditched us for the University of Oregon, but all that good stuff. All right. Actually, Graham will be back pretty soon. All right. Anyways, anything else, Rick? Man, I felt like that was a good little talk right there.
No, man, all good, man. All
Yeah.
good. I'm glad you had a good trip to Toronto. And again, to my Toronto people, I'll be there next week. So I'm looking forward to being out there.
And just tell everybody you know Stocky. I don't know his real name. I don't know who he is. I don't know what he does. This guy just walks around in a t-shirt and a hat, and I'm over there wearing a collared shirt, getting made fun of. All right. So Tolly didn't join us today, but we'll get Tolly back. I know he misses us in the group chat. He's there with us, letting us know 2 days later, but he lets us know that he's having a good time. So make sure you guys follow the Ricky Romero Foundation Instagram account. Keep track of what we do here in Southern California. We're going to expand some things. What do you got planned for the week for the kids?
What do we got? We got drum lessons today. We got swimming lessons tomorrow. We got they started this a couple weeks ago. They started this ninja training course. This like trampoline course where they're like jumping and like it's pretty dope, man. Like, hey, I'm trying to keep them active. Again, baseball's cool, and I want them to hopefully one day both of them grow up to be professional baseball players, all that good stuff. But I feel like all this other stuff is important, having them in little things like this. And we actually got an okay from Sebastian to play soccer. He actually gave us the okay because Diego's going to play. And I said, listen, Diego's going to play. I don't want to hear like when he starts getting his uniform and his cleats and this and that. And I don't want to hear you say that you want to play. So do you want to play? Yes or no? And he goes, yeah, I want to play. I was like, done. Okay.
Wow.
So it maybe help. It helps, it helps that Diego's there and he's going to be getting new cleats. Now I can take both of them and get him a nice pair of soccer cleats and all that good stuff. So I'm looking forward to it, man. Again, I want them to play all sports. And
you're not going to coach soccer, are you?
Hell no. I don't know shit about soccer like that. Not to coach. I mean, I know soccer, but I don't know how to coach it. I mean, my wife can coach it.
Is she going to coach?
I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, remember, at that age, all that matters are the snacks afterwards, man. The oranges and the snacks.
No, but this little Ninja Warrior class is an hour long on Saturdays. It's so dope, man. Like you see Sebastian, like they literally think they're ninjas, dude.
In the foam pits and everything else?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta go.
There's like trampolines. They jump from one box to another box, and the best part is if they obviously when they crash that night, it's like the hardest crash they've ever had. They're like the best. Out cold.
The best. That's all that matters. All right, that'll be good. Ricky's Ninja Warrior. I'm gonna be a Ninja Warrior in Mexico. I'm going to Obregon. Got a couple fights on Thursday and Friday. I'm going to be working with our good friend Oscar Valdez, former world champ. He's going to be my partner in Sonora. Right. And then I'm going to the homeland. I'm going to go fly to Guadalajara, and I'm going to go to my mom and dad's hometown in Nochislan. I've been there a couple times during the day, but I'm going to go for the first time at night. So I'm going to get a tamborazo. Nice. I'm going to go and get in the middle of the street. I'm legit. No, I'm serious, Rick. My cousin is going to order a tamborazo. We're going to walk through the streets of Nochislan, and I'm going to send videos. And for all of you guys that don't believe me, just watch me. And hopefully I'll come back and we can do the podcast next week. If not, I'll be living in Guadalajara.
All right, cool. Me and Josh Thole can hold it down.
Yeah, and Mikey V, he'll make all the Instagrams. All right, so for everybody, thanks a lot. Make sure you guys follow the Ricky Romero Foundation page for Ricky Romero and Beto. Thanks for watching the Let's Go Ricky Romero podcast.